Hello, everyone, and welcome to General Hospital official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. General Hospital spoilers hint that Lucas Jones' decision to help Britt Westbourne could put his own life on the line. Britt was alarmed when she realized Marco Rios admitted too much to Lucas, since that puts him at risk. Of course, Lucas will add to an already dangerous situation through his plan to find Britt's medicine and break her free from the project she's been forced into. In GH's February 24th episode, Britt admitted her medication is administered at Windermere, where it's kept locked up. Lucas suggested it was lucky for Britt that he lives at Windermere, so he obviously plans to dig around and locate those med doses. If all goes well, Lucas is no doubt hoping to steal a vial and pave the way for some reverse engineering. Unfortunately, things pretty much never go well on a soap. Lucas may think he can sneak around and discover the medicine vials, but there's a good chance he's going to get busted. That's especially true since Pascal is determined to prove Lucas is a duplicitous liar who's jeopardizing Sidwell's whole operation. Pascal may ultimately catch Lucas in the act of stealing Britt's medication and gain the upper hand. It's possible Pascal will try to deal with Lucas on his own if he fears Sidwell will go too easy on him because of Marco. Then again, Pascal might view this as proof of Lucas' shoddiness and hope that Sidwell will reward him once he alerts the boss to his discovery. Regardless, Lucas could be in serious trouble if he gets caught trying to swipe one of Britt's medication doses. Britt is a key player on Sidwell and Ross Cullum's project, since they're counting on her to deliver a working prototype ASAP. Lucas will be working to score Britt's freedom, so that could unleash Sidwell's fury, since it could derail their operation and delay the results they want. If Lucas moves forward with this medication mission behind his boyfriend's back, that could anger Marco, too. It may prove that Lucas doesn't trust him in Marco's eyes and could potentially lead to Marco siding with his father. Marco might feel like Lucas is just stringing him along until he can free Britt, even if that's not really what's happening. No matter how it all goes down, Lucas could become a fatal target if he gets caught carrying out this medication theft attempt. Sidwell may have a reason to unleash his wrath soon enough. General Hospital spoilers say bad news could be headed Lucas' way, so stay tuned to the ABC soap. The tension at Windermere has never been higher. Lucas Jones finds himself walking a razor-thin line. His desire to help Britt Westbourne could very well put his own life on the line. Every decision he makes, every step he takes, feels like a roll of the dice, and right now, the stakes couldn't be higher. Britt, for her part, is on edge. The moment she realized just how much Marco Rios had admitted to Lucas, panic flashed across her face. She knows that too much information in Lucas's hands could put him in danger, and she's already trapped in a situation she never asked for, caught in a project with Sidwell and Ross Cullum that feels more like a cage than a workplace. And yet, Lucas, undeterred, has a plan. He won't just sit back and watch Britt suffer. He intends to fight for her freedom, even if it risks everything. In the February 24th episode of General Hospital, Britt confesses the harsh reality of her life at Windermere. Her medication is locked away, tightly controlled, and essential to keeping her functioning. It's a detail she knows could change everything if Lucas can somehow get to it. Lucas, ever resourceful, immediately notices the silver lining. "Lucky for you," he says, the edge of determination in his voice. "I live here." His mind races, imagining a path to the medicine, the vial that could be the key to Britt's liberation. If he can just get his hands on it, he might even find a way to reverse engineer the treatment, giving Britt a fighting chance to reclaim her life. But in a world like Port Charles, nothing ever goes according to plan. Lucas might think he can sneak through the halls of Windermere, bypass security, and locate the precious vials, but the danger lurking around every corner is palpable. Pascal, ever vigilant, has made it his mission to expose Lucas, to prove he's a duplicitous liar, threatening Sidwell's operation. The possibility that Pascal could catch Lucas in the act is real, and it would tilt the scales of power dramatically. Pascal's motivations are as murky as they are dangerous. If he acts alone, he could confront Lucas directly, keeping Sidwell's hands clean but sending a deadly message. Or he might see this as proof of Lucas's shoddiness and alert Sidwell, hoping the boss will reward him for exposing a threat to the operation. Either way, Lucas is stepping into a minefield. and one wrong move could leave him exposed and vulnerable, possibly fatally so. Meanwhile, Britt's role in Sidwell and Ross Cullum's project makes her a linchpin in an operation that cannot afford delays. They're counting on her to deliver a working prototype, and any attempt to interfere, any mission to free her, risks Sidwell's wrath. Lucas isn't just stealing medication. He's challenging a system that tolerates nothing, and the consequences of failure could be catastrophic. The personal stakes are no less intense. Lucas's actions, if carried out without Marco's knowledge, could fracture the trust between them. Marco might interpret Lucas's secret mission as a betrayal, a signal that he doesn't truly trust him. In Marco's eyes, Lucas could just be stringing him along, using him as a pawn until Britt is free. That misunderstanding could push Marco closer to his father, creating a personal and emotional collision course that's just as dangerous as the physical risks Lucas faces. Every step Lucas takes is a delicate dance between hope and peril. The hallways of Windmere, usually quiet and sterile, become a stage for suspense and tension. Each locked door, each shadowed corner, is a reminder that the smallest misstep could trigger disaster. Lucas knows it, Britt knows it, and the viewers watching feel the weight of every decision pressing down on them. And yet, despite the danger, Lucas's resolve doesn't waver. He's determined to secure the medicine, to fight for Britt, to do what others cannot or will not. But the threat of Sidwell's wrath looms like a storm cloud on the horizon. One miscalculation could ignite his fury. One wrong move could make Lucas a target. The consequences are not just professional. They are deeply personal, carrying the potential for betrayal, heartbreak, and even death. As the drama unfolds, General Hospital viewers are left holding their breath. Will Lucas succeed in this impossible mission, or will the walls of Windmere close in on him, trapping him in a dangerous game with no escape? Every glance, every secret, every silent step down a corridor is charged with tension. The stakes have never been higher, and the line between hero and casualty is razor thin. For Lucas, helping Britt is no longer just an act of courage. It's a gamble with everything on the line. Love, trust, life itself, all teetering on the edge of what could either be triumph or tragedy. And in Port Charles, as history has shown time and again, danger is never far behind, waiting for the moment when a single decision can change everything. Stay tuned, because in this tangled web of loyalty, love, and ambition, nothing is guaranteed, and everything is at risk. Lucas's next move could define his fate, and Britt's forever. The tension at Windmere is thick enough to cut with a knife. Lucas Jones moves carefully, every step measured, every breath calculated, as if the walls themselves are watching. He knows what's at stake, not just Britt's freedom, but his own life. One misstep, one careless glance, and all of his plans could collapse. Meanwhile, Pascal is closing in. Ever watchful, he senses the undercurrent of deceit, the hidden agendas threading through the corridors. To him, Lucas isn't a hero. He's a threat, a potential liability that could unravel Sidwell and Ross Cullum's entire project. Pascal's eyes gleam with that sharp, predatory focus of someone determined to prove themselves to a boss who tolerates no weakness. Every move Lucas makes is a challenge, and Pascal is ready to strike. The stakes climb higher when Lucas realizes just how precarious this mission has become. The medicine, Britt's lifeline, the key to her autonomy, is not just locked behind doors, but buried under layers of surveillance and control. Each vial represents not only a chance at freedom, but a potential trigger for disaster. Lucas knows the tension of the chase is palpable. Each corridor, each locked cabinet, becomes a battleground of wit and will. And then there's Marco. Lucas's heart aches with the knowledge that his boyfriend might never understand his intentions. If Marco discovers the plan behind his back, he could see it as a betrayal, a sign that Lucas doesn't trust him. And in Marco's mind, loyalty is everything. The thought of Marco siding with his father, turning against him at the moment he needs support the most, gnaws at Lucas. Love, in this scenario, is as fragile and dangerous as the mission itself. Every stolen glance, every whispered conversation carries the weight of possibility. Possibility for trust or for heartbreak. Inside Windmere, the suspense reaches its peak. Lucas spots the locked storage where Britt's medication is kept. His pulse races, but he steals himself. One careful move, one deft maneuver, and he could be holding the vial in his hand, holding the key to her freedom. Yet, the shadows hide more than just corners. They hide the sharp gaze of Pascal, waiting for a misstep, ready to pounce. Suddenly, the plan teeters on the edge of disaster. Pascal's presence becomes impossible to ignore. Every heartbeat echoes like a drum in Lucas's chest. The risk of discovery is real, immediate, and terrifying. If Pascal catches him, it's not just a warning, it could be the end. Sidwell doesn't tolerate interference, and one wrong move could trigger a fury Lucas might never survive. But Lucas pushes forward. His love for Britt, his belief in her right to freedom, fuels him. He slips past sensors, avoids cameras, and inches closer to the vials that could change everything. The tension is electric, every second stretching into eternity. And then, the moment of truth. A vial slips into his hand, fragile and precious. Relief surges, but there's no time to celebrate. Pascal is closing in. The thrill of victory is instantly replaced with the raw fear of being caught. The hallway, once just a passage, transforms into a gauntlet. Every step toward escape is fraught with danger. Meanwhile, Britt, unaware of Lucas's every risk, wrestles with her own fear and frustration. Her mind races, knowing that her fate rests in someone else's hands, vulnerable yet hopeful. The connection between them, silent, electric, unspoken, binds them in a tension so intense that viewers can feel it with every frame. Love and danger collide in the halls of Windmere, leaving the audience gripping the edge of their seats. Back in the shadows, Sidwell's influence looms like a storm cloud. Lucas knows that if he fails, it's more than just punishment. It's Sidwell's wrath, calculated, relentless, and potentially lethal. One mistake could derail the entire project, delay results, and bring both professional ruin and mortal danger. It's a pressure cooker of risk, emotion, and suspense, and Lucas is right at its center. As he makes his move, viewers are left suspended in a cinematic heartbeat, caught between hope and dread. Will Lucas succeed in securing the medicine and freeing Britt? Or will Pascal and Sidwell's ever-watchful eyes turn this daring mission into a deadly trap? The consequences aren't just about stolen vials. They're about trust, loyalty, love, and survival in a world where nothing is guaranteed. One thing is certain. In Port Charles, every choice carries weight, every secret holds danger, and every heartbeat could be the last. Lucas's mission is far from over, and the fallout from his actions promises to reshape alliances, ignite betrayals, and test the bonds of love in ways that only General Hospital can deliver. The story is just reaching its peak. Every corner hides a threat, every handhold could be a trap, and the next moments will determine who emerges victorious, who falls, and who will be forced to face the wrath of Sidwell, Marco, and the cruel twists of fate itself. For fans of drama, suspense, and high-stakes storytelling, Lucas and Britt's journey at Windmere is more than a mission. It's a pulse-pounding battle for freedom, trust, and survival. And in a place like Port Charles, danger is always just around the corner. The corridors of Windmere were eerily quiet, but the silence carried a weight heavier than any storm. Lucas Jones moved like a shadow, heart pounding in sync with the faint hum of the building's security systems. Each step was calculated, careful, not just for himself, but for Britt. She depended on him in ways no one else could comprehend, and that dependence was both a gift and a terrifying responsibility. He thought of her locked away, her medication out of reach, and a surge of determination coursed through him. Britt Westbourne had always been a fighter, but now she was trapped in a world where every breath was regulated, every choice monitored. Her freedom was more than a desire, it was a necessity. And Lucas had made a choice. He would risk everything to get it back for her. Meanwhile, Pascal's presence loomed like a predator in the shadows. He didn't just suspect. He knew there was something Lucas was hiding. Every glance Lucas cast over his shoulder, every slight hesitation, was ammunition for Pascal's growing suspicion. He thrived on proving himself, on catching deceit, and on the chance to demonstrate loyalty to Sidwell. For Pascal, this wasn't just about protocol. It was personal. If Lucas failed to notice him, it wouldn't just be Lucas who suffered. It would be a statement about who held the power in Windmere's corridors. As Lucas approached the storage unit where Britt's medication was kept, time seemed to stretch. The vial he sought sat behind reinforced glass, nestled in a lockbox designed to be impossible to access without authorization. Yet Lucas's mind raced. Every detail he had learned, every schedule, every patrol, every blind spot, he had memorized. This was his moment. And in this world, moments like this didn't come twice. He slipped the lock open with a careful twist, the sound impossibly loud in his ears. One hand on the vial, one hand ready to react to any threat. He felt the adrenaline spike, sharp and exhilarating. Relief threatened to wash over him, but it was quickly replaced by the prickling sensation of being watched. Pascal's eyes were everywhere, unseen yet omnipresent, waiting for the slightest misstep. Meanwhile, Britt sat in her room, restless and anxious. She didn't know what Lucas was attempting, but she could feel it, the pull of danger, the charge of secrecy, the electricity of hope. Her mind swirled with fear for him, for herself, and for what might come if their plan went wrong. Love had always been a complex game, but now it was entwined with life or death stakes. Every second that ticked by without word from Lucas felt like an eternity. And then, the unseen threat became immediate. Pascal moved, silent but deliberate, closing in from the shadows. His plan was simple: catch Lucas red-handed, prove his loyalty to Sidwell, and establish dominance in the precarious hierarchy of Windermere. The air was taut. Each breath Lucas took loud in the silence. Each heartbeat a countdown. Lucas froze. The vial was in his hand, precious and fragile, and he realized the only way forward was to trust his instincts. Every muscle tensed as Pascal's shadow loomed closer. And then, in the space of a heartbeat, the chase began. Lucas darted through the hallways, moving faster than fear, more precise than desperation. Each corner held a new threat, each doorway a potential trap. His mind and body synced in a rhythm of survival, propelled by love, loyalty, and the raw urgency to succeed. Back in her room, Britt's anxiety reached a crescendo. She imagined every possibility. Lucas caught, the project derailed, Sidwell's fury unleashed. Yet underneath the fear, hope stirred, fragile but persistent. She believed in him. She had to. And in that belief, a spark ignited, a reminder that even in the darkest places, trust and courage could carve a path forward. The narrative tension tightened as Lucas neared his goal. The exit loomed, but Pascal was relentless, eyes sharp, movements precise. One wrong step, and everything could collapse. Lucas's pulse thundered in his ears, but his focus never wavered. Love and courage, desperation and cunning, all collided in a single cinematic moment. He reached the exit, breathless but victorious, vial in hand. Yet, the story was far from over. Sidwell's presence, though unseen, cast a long shadow. He wouldn't tolerate interference, and Lucas knew the reprieve was temporary at best. Marco's perception hung in the balance too. Would he understand Lucas's motives, or would he see only betrayal, only secrecy, only the sense that he had been left out of a plan that mattered as much to their relationship as it did to Britt's survival? The corridors of Windermere may have been quiet now, but the storm of consequences was gathering on the horizon. Lucas had won the first battle, but the war was far from over. Pascal's vigilance, Sidwell's wrath, Marco's conflicted loyalty, they all loomed like approaching thunderclouds, promising that the fallout from this mission would ripple through every relationship, every alliance, and every heartbeat in Port Charles. In the end, General Hospital fans are left suspended between hope and fear. Lucas's daring, Britt's vulnerability, Pascal's scheming, Sidwell's looming fury, and Marco's uncertain allegiance all collide in a pulse-pounding crescendo of suspense, drama, and emotion. One vial, one secret mission, one act of love could change everything, or it could destroy it all. And in Port Charles, danger is never far behind. Every shadow hides a threat, every smile hides an agenda, and every heartbeat could be the last. Lucas's mission is a test of courage, loyalty, and love, and the repercussions will echo far beyond the walls of Windermere, shaping the fate of everyone he holds dear. The next moments will determine more than success or failure. They will determine who survives, who trusts, and who will be forever changed in this high-stakes game of power, love, and survival. And as viewers, we are left gripping the edge of every scene, every suspenseful second, waiting to see whether Lucas and Britt's daring gamble will lead to freedom, heartbreak, or something even more shocking.